I can say to you unequivocally that I think Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think all
And
lives
I
matter,
agree.
but I think Black Lives Matter. I cannot support the Black Lives Matters movement in any shape, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's two different things. I have
Yep.
Black friends, I have Indian friends, I have Hispanic friends, I have friends of all color. I've ministered to people of all colors. And just because of my faith, because of the God that I serve, because of the Jesus that lives in me, I love everybody. And color
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make any difference to me. But
Yep.
Black Lives Matters is not about. I don't think they're interested in social justice at all. Their stated purpose is to create a Marxist regime in the United States. They
Mm-hmm.
want
I
to tear
heard
down
that.
the
Yep.
United States as it exists. Their goal is political. It's not racial. In fact, I've challenged people. Tell me one thing the Black Lives Matters movement has done for the Black community. Name
Mm-hmm.
one. They've gone in and destroyed a lot of Black communities in their rioting and looting and burning and those kinds of things. But as far as really doing something concrete for the
Mm-hmm.
Black communities, it could be there, but I don't see it. And when I hear people and I see the NBA putting Black Lives Matters on their courts and players wearing Black Lives Matter stuff, whatever, I agree. Black Lives Matter. I agree.
Absolutely.
There's injustice that needs to be dealt with. Uh, but if they're saying I support the organization Black Lives Matters, it's anti-American. They want to tear down the United States. I can't support that. And I hear preachers stand up and say I support Black Lives Matters. And I will say, okay, wait a minute. Do you believe Black Lives Matter, or do you support the Black Lives Matters
Yep.
organization? Because it's two totally different things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And
So let me, let
again,
me let me finish that, Josh, because I thought you made such a great point. What's the end game? What's going to be enough? When will all this not be necessary?
mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's tied to when justice is done. I think it's tied to when their political agenda is fulfilled.
And this is my worry. We're sitting here as two white men, that are, we're openly saying that we believe that Black lives do matter, and we couldn't be more clear about that. That we love our Black and African American people of color brothers and sisters, and we want what's best for, not just them, but for our countries and for the world. And this is, I worry very much that that this seed that's being planted in terms of we're oppressed, we are, we're being treated badly, we are not equal. I just worry that this seed is only going to divide the society further and further until until it's nearly at the point of civil war, because people really are just don't trust each other. They think that they're working against each other. So I mean, this is a real worry for me, because when when you love your brothers and sisters, you don't want to see them, or you don't want them to have a negative opinion of you. And I worry that these kind of movements are just, it's making the differences almost irreconcilable, between the two communities, and that's my worry, that we just, how do we get reconciliation in the midst of such division when the agenda is promoting it? You know what I mean? When this agenda everyone is backing. Not the Black Lives, the statement Black Lives Matter. We all, I think, nearly every normal, decent American and citizen would agree that, but the organization seeks to divide, and this is what I worry about.
Yeah, and I think without getting too political, division is a weapon used by people to get to a further end. If Black Lives Matters and other political groups can continue to divide us and pit us against one another, they can accomplish their end goals.
Hmm.
So I share that concern, and I see it, and I think we're edging closer to. I don't know if it'll be a civil war, but there's going to be, at some point in time, the other side is going to start responding to Antifa and Black Lives Matters if these government leaders don't stand up and do something about it.
Hmm.
If they come to Nashville and start tearing Nashville up like they're tearing up Seattle and other cities, there's going to be a problem.
And this is a worry, because obviously you're involved in law enforcement. I'm sure you don't condone sort of vigilante justice, but at the end of the day, that would be the natural reaction, a natural negative reaction to, other negative circumstances that are being imposed in their cities. When people care about their businesses, they will take the law into their own hands sometimes whenever police forces are stretched so thinly. And none of us, I don't think we want to see that. We want to see, peace and the police being able to do their jobs, and we're starting to see, even at the time of filming, we're filming this now just shortly after the death of Jacob Blake. So this in Wisconsin, we're seeing some of the cases of people, shooting other people to protect themselves and to protect businesses, and that's by no means an ideal situation. People want to be able to rely on the police to protect them, but when in the current situation, people are being overrun. The police are all over the place, stretched so thinly, and it's almost a natural consequence of all that people will start to defend themselves beyond what is just normal law enforcement. And it's a worry for me, but I think it's definitely a natural consequence of the way things are going.
I think that's that word natural. People aren't going to sit down and take it forever. Businessmen aren't going to see their businesses burned down when nobody does anything. Mm-hmm. I think police officers, because of their sense of right and wrong, their sense of wanting to protect their communities, they're more than willing to step in and do what they need to do to take care of those situations. The problem, I don't care if it's Kenosha, if it's Portland, if it's Seattle, if it's New York, every one of those cities is run by very liberal governors and mayors. Mm-hmm. And what happens, the police officers are chomping at the bit, but those liberal mayors are telling them to stand down. And I tell you, that's hard. For somebody who's been trained and it's ingrained to uphold what is right, uphold the law, and to be told to stand down while people are destroying the city, that's very difficult. But I think you're right. And and Josh, the only solution I know, and again, I don't want to sound preachy, but that's who I am, is God's going to have to do something. Somehow he's going to have to move in the hearts of men and women, and he's going to have to rain down peace and some kind of reconciliation, and we got to get leaders in place that'll stop this stuff, but yet move forward and correcting the injustices, improving our justice system. But we're not. You're exactly right. We're not heading in a good direction.
Yeah.
The natural, I like the way you use that word. The natural end of this would be turning man against man.
And like I said, I don't think that's what we want to see, but it's natural in terms of when people are threatened, that's how they respond. And that's me saying it in a way that's not condoning, but understanding the natural response to threat that humans have. Exactly. Can we talk a little then just about how this is all affecting officers? In your job and ministering and talking to police officers, how are they dealing with this, I don't even know, vitriol, this sort of hatred that's being directed their way? How is it being a police officer at the minute where people are against you?
The best word I can think is it's hellacious. It is so hard. They're fearful for themselves. They're fearful for their families. They're scared sometimes to go out in public. And one of the trickle downs from all that is, right now, who wants to be a law enforcement officer? Who's standing up right now saying, hey, I want that to be my career? So you've got departments like Franklin, like Brentwood, like the Williamson County Sheriff's Office that are having trouble hiring people. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we have shortages, and that weakens the police force. So I just say this: the ones that are there are committed to it, and they have to be. I mean, There's no reason other than they're called to it and they're committed to it. But it's very difficult, and they are fearful. And I used the phrase a while ago: they keep their head on a swivel. They're looking all around them.